Welcome, this is episode 6 of my killer DIY home cinema project. It's a 9.4.6 system, and this episode is about the pre-wire process for it. So I've covered previously about how the room construction was done and how the riser was done, and now we're going to get into all the pre-wire. But first, check out, this is the time lapse of the whole room, start through finish, so you can see where we're heading with the whole thing. And this episode is going to cover between days 19 to days 39 of the construction timeline. And in this time frame, construction is generally happening 5 to 6 days out of the week, so there's a lot of activity every single day on site. And in the first video, I've had the electricians come through for the first fix. So at this stage, they've run all the downlight locations as well as all the power for where the cinema seats is going to be plugged into and things like the light switches. The electrical plan I drew and then I gave to the electrician, who at the same time was doing the electrical for the refurbishment of my house. So they came down and did the pre-wire down in the basement, and we've got a whole range of downlights around the sides of the walls, as well as fore and the back just above the rear seating. And in the back of the bulkhead, you can also see I've got a lot of power provisions for where the projector is going to be plugged into for power. Now down into the basement area, I've had 3 circuits brought in so that one can power all the electrical, and then 2 is circuits into just powering the GPOs so that I can plug in certain amount of things for a load capacity into one circuit and another capacity into a different circuit. So I'm deliberately trying to split the load. So for example, all the amplification might be on a different circuit than what the projector and maybe some of the other equipment might be on. And the downlights you can see here, location-wise, it's about 500 mil off the sidewall, and I've kept it fairly close into that because I want to allow enough space for my star ceiling. So at this point, I did know that I was going to do a star ceiling, and I knew the width that I was going to fit that, so I had to keep the downlights so that it was basically halfway between the star ceiling finish and where the edge of the wall was going to be. Across on the wall, we've got a provision for the room lights when you first enter into the door. And then when we went through the insulation stage, we left all the area for the power cables to be able to fit through and not be crowded or to be pushed up against the back of the sound check too firmly. So the power light switches are just on the right-hand side of the room when you first come in. I'll have to find a way to make that work within my fabric panels later on, so that's going to be a little bit of a tricky area. And because of the room within a room concept, a lot of the cables that are running to the downlight locations have space above the joists to be run across the top before they then start anchoring around to their locations. And I will be running LifeX smart LED bulbs to each of the downlight locations so that they're all connected via app, but they're also all connected via Alexa. So I actually don't use the light switch into the room ever. All of the lights are turned on and off each time just purely by voice command. And there's a little detail in this photo here, just above the speaker location on the right-hand side, there's actually a cable coming out of the wall, and that is because it's going to be running for some LED lights that's going to be coming out of the wall on the top and bottom, just above and below where all the fabric wall panels are running. So I've marked the location of where that needed to be based on the height of my acoustic panels, because at this stage I've got the full drawings and plans for everything, and then that's going to be later on wired to some LED lights which run the length of the wall. So first fix is finished at this stage. All the locations have been wired in for electrical and power. And we needed to know where the wall area was coming out. So when we do the sound check layer, we need to have a way of bringing that through, knowing the location where it's going to come out from. There's that gap between the riser and the sidewall. It's about 10 mil over there. And that's to keep that separated so sound can't transfer from one structure to the wall structure and then up through the stairwell. The bulkhead's got a lot of electrical going through it, and need to be careful with that later on when I'm installing all of the acoustic pin board, which is the backing stuff, and having to start screwing things in. I had to refer back to all the photos I took and the videos of where the cables were running to avoid putting them through there. And onto the riser, you see here all the power cables that are going to be coming back up through that floor box, and that's where I'm going to be powering the 3 rear cinema seats from. And there's also a GPO power location on the rear wall there, and that is for the rear subwoofer. And at that point in time, I'm only planning on 1 rear subwoofer, so I've only got 1 power point. But at the end of the day, I ended up putting another sub on the right-hand side. So if I knew that ahead of time, I probably would have put 2 GPOs back there. And the floor box there is flush mounted with what the height is going to be for the top level of the OSB. And there'll be carpet installed around that later on. And that was a real mess, all the cables that were there while we're still trying to construct the riser. But the whole area with just power cables everywhere. And some of them were actually data cables for the projector above. I had to sort of just keep working around that without getting it damaged. And now let's move on to the audio cabling. I used a very high quality speaker wire, and I used 12 gauge throughout the whole room. So the cable came on a 100 meter long spool, and from memory there was at least 2, maybe even 3 of those that were used for the whole room. Now we can see the rear wall where we've actually got the provisions for the rear speakers, with the cables now just coming out through where the sound check wall treatment is, and we've got that all marked in location, as well as on the front riser having a provision for pulling a draw cable through to get some speaker wire through to the front of the riser. And the reason I planned for that was to ultimately put bass shakers into the seats, and therefore I plan on running speaker cable from the rack area back through to the front row. But I made a mistake here because I was really only planning on running 1 or 2 cables, not realizing how I was going to have to wire this up in the end. And I also used 4 seats with bass shakers in the end. So I had to dramatically modify the speaker cable route and how I ended up getting that to the front row than what I originally planned. And to everyone that subscribed through the series of my DIY cinema, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. I'm going to be putting up more of these videos every week until I get through to the very final aspect of every part of my room. And I'd love to see some people use some tips of what I've done into their cinemas. Now in this video you can really see the finished riser, and you can also see where the sides of it have got a gap. You see there's about a 10mm gap to the side wall and also to the back wall, the same sort of thing. And this is all to keep separation so that the riser structure does not touch the rear or side walls. It's a self-contained unit that therefore can't have any transference of vibration through to the walls, and therefore the other structure and then the staircase. And that's going to be hidden later on with carpet that covers it, where you'll never see that there's actually a gap between that to the wall because the carpet goes all the way to the wall. I had an AV installer come through and do all the speaker wire installation. So it's running through the top, over the ceiling joists and down to the corner of the AV room. Everything's running from there back to either the Atmos locations or all the way through to the front wall for the LCRs and the subs. And because of the front LCRs are all bi-wired, we needed obviously 2 sets of speaker cables going to those locations. So there's a lot of speaker cabling meterage in this room. I'd already marked out where all the Atmos speakers were, so we knew the locations where those speakers and then the wire needed to be planted to, and where possible we kept the speaker wire separate to where the power cables were run. So just as good practice, either running it in on a different ceiling joist or crossing them over at right angles so that they don't run parallel and close proximity to each other wherever possible. And I didn't have any of the speaker systems at this point in time, so really I'm just going off all the specs of all those speakers for where their binding posts are, to know where to drill through the walls, especially for the rears, for example, and the sides, so where the speaker cable would be left out, ready to just pull through and then connect up that when the speakers were mounted. So the HDMI has been run from the AV rack room back through into the bulkhead for the location for the projector. But at the same time, we've run a data cable there. And that's just more for future-proofing in case I ever wanted to switch over to a connection where there was going to be a data rather than a direct HDMI cable running through. So that was probably a good suggestion from the installer to run that and just have future provisions for it if ever needed. And we had to tuck all the speaker cabling behind where the aircon plenum box is, because at this stage you can see it's now actually installed and all of that's now tucked away, but it means we've got less room to move to get those speaker cables passed back behind it. And on the baffle wall, the speaker cables are all connected from the base, just popped up into a little area which pulls off on the front of the speakers. So all the locations here are based on knowing where those LCR and the subs have their speaker connection points, and then the cables are running below that platform on the void to the side, and then it runs up the wall over the top of the ceiling joists in a direct line back to the AV rack. I think from memory at some stage I probably ran out of speaker cable, had to order another reel. And on the side walls now we've got the speaker cables coming out through the plywood. And again, you can see now the void of where the speaker's going to be nice and clear. And because the room was still quite dusty for different things we were working on, all of the ends of the speaker cables were all taped up and left in a way where, even though I'm going to cut it and take it to its final length, I just didn't want to get anything where it had real chances of getting damaged or dirty in any way. Here we're looking at the bottom of the Bondex slab for the upstairs floor. So again, I'm just marking out where all the Atmos locations are. And I actually marked it from the floor, and then we held up I think it's called a plumb bob, at a point on the ceiling until that then dropped down to the exact location on the floor where the Atmos marking was, and then I just transferred that up onto the Bondex slab. From there I knew where then the cable, the speaker wire, needed to be for the installer to leave it in that location. It's all going to be covered with insulation as well, so I need to know where it is and mark it on all of the ceiling joists undersides so we can fish for it later on and reach up into the right spot. And on the ceiling joist there, I've marked out power, and that's based on the star ceiling is going to plug into a power location which is above the star ceiling on the very edge of it. So you can get to it, but you also never see it within the room. And that was left like that for the electrician to be able to mount the power location. And I think I kept a couple of power points in there. And so the insulation is now gone up into the ceiling. And that was definitely an exercise. It's a lot harder doing it in the ceiling than it is doing on the side walls. But you can also see the thin green lines. That's actually holding all the insulation in place. So even though it's cut and sort of holding itself pretty tightly, it's also got the green line, which I've then stapled across all the ceiling joists so that it's got a support under it. And then we just fish back for where the speaker cable locations were and pull them down so we're ready to be able to find them later on as well. And just seeing all the cabling now in its final location on the ceiling, ready and installed. And at that stage, the side walls are having plywood covered up to be ready to start doing all of the final finishing on the walls. And it was great once the insulation disappeared into the room into just hard surfaces instead of looking at that. So that brings us to day 39. The pre-wire phase has now finished. Everything's sitting there until we then can finish the room to a further point and then bring back the electricians to do their second fix. And whilst we're at this stage, we have actually started the lining of the walls, and that's going to be my next video. So the lining of the walls is going to cover all of the stage where the walls and the ceiling is all going to be covered back up. And so that's going to lead us into the next video, which is going to be lining the walls and the ceiling. And that's an exciting phase because the insulation starts disappearing and you can start seeing a firm surface back again, almost ready to start painting. And if you're finding the journey of seeing my cinema interesting, throw a like down on the video. That'd be great. Helps my channel a lot. So that's a wrap with day 39. Make sure you don't miss my next video because we're going to start covering lining all the walls and the ceiling. I'm going back to day 22 when that process started. I'll show you that in detail on my next video. Subscribe, don't miss it. I appreciate you watching. Like, comment, all that stuff. I'll see you next time.